we had really a shameful week when it comes to bishops and their expression of closeness and praising, firstly, Ramadan. And this was something very strange that we saw. One of the first messages that I saw was from outside of the Catholic Church. It was from Archbishop Welby, who said that he gave great thanks for the contributions of Muslims to our society and for their great hospitality and welcome.
Greetings to Muslims at the start of the month of Ramadan. I wish you peace and joy as you begin this extraordinary and special time of prayer, fasting, and spiritual reflection. Thank you for the huge contribution that Muslims across our nation make to our society. We all benefit from the many ways that Muslims in their diversity seek to be good citizens and contribute to our common good.
Well, tell that to the Christian martyrs who are routinely killed by the Muslims, but let's not worry about that. Now, at first I thought, well, this, that's just in the Church of England, but this expanded, and we truly see the effects of the new Vatican II conciliar church that we've been seeing. And we saw Cardinal Dolan come out with a statement. So this is what he had to say on X. I'll play some of it.
Monday, March 11th, folks. Cardinal Timothy Dolan here. Blessings and graces to our Islamic neighbors and brothers and sisters, because their holy season of Ramadan begins today. It's a lot like their version of Lent, which we're going through now.
And I don't want to listen to the whole pontificating of Cardinal Dolan there. Not really worth it. He put out another statement as well, saying that, well, Easter Sunday, Passover, and Ramadan are really, they're connected.
Spring is the time of the triumph of light and life, okay? And that, of course, is what Good Friday and Easter Sunday is about. That's what Passover is about. That's what Ramadan's about. The renewal of God's life within us, that we actually share in God's constantly reinvigorating power in the world, as we see in nature during spring. So Ramadan, Passover, Holy Week, and Easter, it's all sort of a supernatural springtime.
I was reminded of these comparative religious studies, like Fraser's Golden Bough, for example, where they're all like, well, all of these places, the pagan religions, the Jews, the Muslims, they all really lead to the one place. Comes from the human heart. That's the kind of stuff that we're getting from the bishops nowadays. We had an amazing article coming from America, the Jesuit Review. It's titled, "I'm a Catholic priest who fasts for Ramadan. Here's what it taught me about Lent." That was by a priest on the Jesuit Review. That's the kind of stuff they're putting out for Lent. We've also seen another statement, another sort of effect of this ecumenism that we'll get into, which is the USCCB's Good Friday pastoral note. Now, this happens routinely now. They're very scared of the charge of anti-Semitism, because rather than wanting to proclaim the gospel, it's really just about avoiding controversy oftentimes with people who aren't Catholic. And here's here is the note on anti-Semitism. The passion narratives are proclaimed in full so that we all vividly see the love of Christ for each person. In light of this, the crimes during the Passion of Christ cannot be attributed in either preaching or catechesis indiscriminately to all Jews of that time, nor to Jews today. The Jewish people should not be referred to as though rejected or cursed, as if this view followed from Scripture. The Church ever keeps in mind that Jesus, his mother Mary, and all the apostles were Jewish, as the Church has always held. Christ freely suffered his passion and death because of the sins of all, that all might be saved. Now, this can, of course, you can take this in a sort of true sense if you said this is about the race of somebody. God's going to allow obviously a Semitic person to join the Catholic Church. But what's ambiguous here, we see the weaponized ambiguity. This obviously lends people to suggest that the idea that the old covenant has been revoked might not be true, right? The idea that and it's explicit in the Bible that the Jews, this is a crime that does go on their heads. This is something explicitly said in the gospel. So,
well, I mean, their words themselves, as St. Matthew gives them, his blood be on us. That's the crowd. His blood be on us and on our children. They're invoking it. Yes.
And at the very least, we're going to have to say, yes, the religion is anti-Christ. It's it's anti-Christian, anti-Catholic. And for our Good Friday, this is not really what we should be focusing on. We should be focusing on converting these people to Jesus Christ.